And we're on.
Yes!
We made it.
We made it. Record time.
Record,
Record
record time.
time. Not sure whose record, but apparently it's our record. So our goal is every week, Lord have mercy, we get up a little bit faster,
Just a little bit.
a little faster each week, and we feel good about that. We feel really, really good about it. Well, at
But
least I feel good about it.
I feel good about it too.
Okay.
Hey, I put the time limit on us, and I was like, listen, we got 5 seconds, we got 5 minutes or 5 seconds to get up this hill, and we had like 20 some steps, and so that's a little push. You know,
At the end,
sometimes
yeah.
you need just a little bit of push to get to the finish line, and so, and once again, you see the title, quitting is not an option,
Oh,
not when you
Jesus.
have some assistance.
And
Mm,
even when you don't have assistance, you have assistance. When you don't
that's
have natural
that's what I'm talking
assistance,
about.
you have spiritual assistance. Because let
That's
me
what I'm
tell
talking
you,
about.
there was some times I was like, I gotta pray. I
Gotta,
gotta breathe.
mm-hmm.
I was not doing good in the middle.
And I was telling you, breathe through your nose, out your mouth. Breathe, she was coming through her mouth and coming out her mouth. I'm like, we're not moving. And
Lord
so you
Jesus.
have to adjust. Sometimes you just have to adjust. And she made the adjustment and she made it. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that's that
It
was
was hard.
beautiful.
It was hard.
But
And
it was worth it though.
when it was definitely worth it, more because let me tell you, you know, we're very transparent. There was a middle point, about three quarters. There's a beautiful bench, and we took some pictures there, and it's gonna be a great spot. You know, at some point we'll do one of our messages on that bench. I knew. Gerald actually said, "You want to go ahead and broadcast right here." I knew within myself, if we had broadcasted in on that bench, I was going back down after we were done. I was.
She said
I
it.
was going back down.
She said it.
And so the revelation for me was at the bench. It was more than even being at the top this time for me. It was at the bench. I had an option. Well, at least I felt like I had an option, and really I would have been cheating not only myself, but who I represent.
Right. And quitting was not an option. We wasn't,
Ugh.
we don't walk up this mountain to stop halfway. God
Oh,
has never told
Jesus.
us to walk up this mountain and go halfway. It's way too much stuff depending on it for us to finish this race, to finish walking this mountain. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it gets tedious, but you know what? Quitting is not an option. And
Ooh.
that's the same thing with God. Whatever God's asked you to do, quitting is not an option on it.
Oh,
Yes, it might
Lord
be hard.
Jesus.
Yes, it might be difficult, but quitting is not an option. He's Jehovah Jireh, our provider. And so whatever you
Yes.
need, and so I kept saying, look, Father, you Jehovah Jireh, you our provider. We need some strength. She needs some strength right now. I need her to get this strength to make it up these steps. I need to get her. She got to have the strength to push a little bit further.
Right.
And then I saw a breeze. She started hitting like God was blowing on her, and she was picking up speed. She was picking up a pace. I was like, oh, okay, you got a new pep in your. I would say you got a new pep
Pep
in your step.
myself.
I said, oh, okay, God, I got you. But I was sitting there speaking, and then she was praying in tongues because she needed it.
I
I mean,
did.
she needed every bit of it. And so when we're talking about quitting is not an option, it is not
It's
an
not.
option.
Even
It's
when
not
you
an
feel
option.
like you've done a lot, because
Right.
by time we got to that bench, we had tackled about three quarters of the mountain,
Yes.
and we did move a lot faster this time. So not only did we tackle three quarters of the mountain, but we had gone at a pretty good pace, probably
Yeah.
the fastest pace we've had so far in the last
30
in the
minutes.
last
Nope.
few
30
weeks.
something. 36. Because we stopped twice to take pictures.
Right. So in the last few weeks, this was our fastest time. So when we got there, I could have easily said, well, since we moved a little faster and since this bench is really, really nice and, well, let's broadcast here. Now, I'm not saying if we broadcasted there, I couldn't have continued walking up the mountain just to complete it. I just knew within myself I wasn't going to
And
do
we
it.
all know within ourselves what we're not going to do.
That's the message right
Because
there.
if you sit there and you say,
Oh, well, let
I
me.
got this far. This is okay. But God says,
Ooh.
what you think is okay is not
Oh,
okay with
come
me.
on, Jesus.
Do you understand that? What you
What
think
we
is
think is
okay
okay.
is not okay with God.
So
See,
when God gives us instructions and we do most of it, when God gives us instructions and we do some of it, when God gives us instructions and we do more than most people, because I would say, you know, some people won't and all that, but the reality is it's not about what other people will or won't do. Right now, it was about my assignment. I'm not saying that this is our assignment forever, but right now we already know this is our assignment to come up here, do a message, tell the people what we heard on the way. And what I heard on the way up was, Yvette, you know, if you do this broadcast on this bench, you're not going to finish. Keep walking. Keep walking. I had the option. So some of you feel like you have the option. See, the thing is, God gives us choices.
Yeah.
And in marriage, a lot of times we're taking the choice of not doing what he wants us to do. In relationships, we're taking that option. In our health, we're taking that option. And God is like, yes, you got to get to the finish line. I'm going to give you a choice. But that doesn't mean that's what I want you to do. I would have been able to walk down and I didn't sin. If I walked back down, it wasn't like God was going to say, oh, you just sinned. But I couldn't get all God has for me. And I have people counting on me. I have people, look at the view. Look at the view you get because we climbed it. You get the view because we climbed it. Some people are on your shoulders. They need a view. They need the view of Jesus. They need the view of salvation. They need the view of deliverance. And you're the one who's supposed to get to the top and give them the view.
And hope.
That's the hope right there. Because that view represents something right there.
Come on.
Like we had to sit down. We're sitting down. We're literally sitting down on the edge of a mountain. Of this mountain to video.
And I'm just telling you right now.
And Gerald is the one that's
not cool with this.
Yes, but you got, since you're
But
over
you know
here,
what?
I'm so proud of you.
I know. I'm doing it.
You know I'm proud of you because
I'm
about a
overcoming
year
fear.
ago, if I'd have told him we were going to sit here and broadcast it, well, actually about a year ago, I asked to take a picture here, and you said no.
Yeah.
You said no.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus, you did about a year ago.
Yeah.
But
cool.
who?
I wasn't
who's
good with
waiting?
stepping off of this road.
Yeah, who's waiting? Who's waiting for you to carry them up?
Come on.
Even if it's in the spirit realm, even if it's in the spirit realm, you've got to push yourself past what you think. If God said get to the top, then you can get to the top. He's not going to tell you to do something and then not be there to help you.
Ooh.
He's not. He's just not. But you can't just quit in the middle. You can't just quit because you've done some of it. You can't just stop.
What if God would quit on us?
Jesus.
Come on now. We so quick to quit on God and what God wants us to do.
Jesus,
But what if God would have quit on us? Just think about that. What if he would have quit on you in your sin? What if he would have quit on you in your bad place? I'm just telling you, I'm so thankful that he ain't quit on me, that he ain't give up on me. Because when he said, I would never leave you, nor forsake you, that. And so as we walking up this mountain, it's the same thing. He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. So I give you the strength that you need. So every step that we was taking, I was declaring that we was taking steps for generations, for other people's generations. And I'm talking about when we going through these mountains and we're going up these trails aren't easy. I mean, the terrain is horrible. And I mean, we're talking about your feet. We're talking about your ankles, knees, legs. I mean, when I tell you, it affects every part of your lower body, upper body, even your
and
mind.
You're breathing.
Well, as we can tell,
my God, my breathing.
My baby had to breathe right. I'm like, babe, breathe through your nose, out of your mouth. Breathe through your nose, out of your mouth. Catch your wind. But when she started doing it the right way, when she started catching it the right way,
somebody's about to quit.
Because I'm telling you,
someone was about to quit, and right now you realize it's not an option.
Not an option.
It's not an option. We're declaring that over you. Do not quit on what God said you can do.
It's not
an
option.
He said you can do it, you can do it. There's a view on the top that you would not get 3/4 of the way, or at the bottom, or even in the middle. There's a view at the top that you cannot say you have in the middle. It might be nice.
Come on. Say it again.
But it's not all of it. It might be nice, but it's not all of it. Your family might get a little bit, but they can't get all of it. There's some things that God is asking us to do that seem like, oh my gosh, can I just? And let me tell you, I got some revelation today about pushing past what God it has told us, push past what we think we can't do. to save generations, to be the bloodline breaker. What we're hearing a lot of is, why did God ask me to be the bloodline breaker? Why not? In fact, he probably asked other people and they said no. See. And every time he asked somebody to be the bloodline breaker, the curse breaker in the family, the one who stands in the gap, everybody keeps saying no. Everybody keeps saying, I don't want to. Too many people are saying, I quit. You cannot quit, because someone's got to break these curses that are happening over these families,
and he's
over
raising
these
up
children,
curse breakers,
over these marriages. And I want to help raise up people who are not afraid to be curse breakers, who are not afraid to say, I feel like quitting, but I'm not. But I'm not.
Say that one.
I feel like quitting. I want to quit. Everybody around me says I should quit, but I'm not.
Ooh.
I'm not.
Ooh.
I'm going to the top. I'm not stopping. I'm going to the top. We're moving, because it's not easy to broadcast up here, but stopping in the middle. You're not quitting in the middle. You're not quitting before the promise. You're not quitting before the manifestation on your prayer. People think that stopping is an option. Who told the body of Christ quitting was an option?
Who said that?
I don't know who told
you that.
Our flesh.
Yeah, always.
Tell your flesh to shut up. I said a nice word.
You did.
I didn't say a bad word.
I thought, you know, when you're in school, you don't tell nobody to shut up.
That is a kind of a bad word, huh?
But you could tell a flesh that, shut up.
Oh, definitely tell the
devil
your flesh
to shut up. Devil, shut up. Stop talking.
You
ain't gonna, I'm not a quitter. I ain't quitting on
Shut
God.
up,
God ain't, listen, when you feel like quitting, you think about, did God quit on me? Just put that in your mind.
God didn't
you can't,
quit on
don't
me.
even get no further, don't go further than that. When you feel like you're talking about you getting ready to quit, and I'm talking about anything, I'm talking about anything that your flesh trying to get you to quit on, you say, oh my God, God ain't never quit on me. Why am I? He didn't make me a quitter. He's not a quitter.
Like
he didn't create quitters. He didn't create quitters in his image and likeness. Why? Because he did not make you no quitter. He made you an overcomer. He made you to do exceed. He made you to conquer things. He didn't create you to quit on something. Where did that come from? That's the enemy. The enemy he wants you to quit on God. He wants you to quit on what God has asked you to do. That's, you know how many of us have done that? I've done it. I ain't gonna even lie, God, I ain't doing that. I'm just gonna be straight with you. I'm not doing that.
We all have.
And God says, okay.
We all have. So
okay.
Ask for forgiveness.
That's
and
it.
then
Repent.
No matter what you're
just
in,
repent.
You dig in. You may have put yourself in a situation, and then you say, okay, God, I've decided. I'm pushing through. I'm not gonna quit. God, you didn't make me a quitter, so I'm dusting myself off, and now I gotta tap in. Here's what you do. No matter what your situation is, here's what you do. You stop. You ask God, okay, wherever I am right now, help me. Wherever I am right now, lead me, guide me, direct me. Then you start listening, and then you tell your flesh, stopping is not an option. Quitting is not an option. You have to be able to say, I know what it looks like in the natural. Most of us look at stuff in the natural. Well, this is happening in my marriage, or this happened in my finances, or this happened in my body. You cannot look at the natural and then expect the supernatural result.
Say that again. That'll preach that.
That right there will preach.
That will preach right there.
You can't look at what's happening in the natural, but expect the supernatural. So when you tap into a supernatural God, he's going to tell you to do things that your body is not going to want to do. Your flesh is not going to want to do it. Your mind is not going to want to do it. Your friends are not going to want you to do it. Your body is going to say no. Your mind is going to say no. Your friends are going to say no. Your thinking is going to be like, I can't. But you cannot quit. You cannot stop. And you cannot keep asking God the same question over and over. Stop asking God about the result when he gave you some instructions and you don't want to do it.
Hold up.
We get to the point where we don't want to do what he says, but we want to have what he promised.
Hold up.
Oh my God.
When your kid come up to you and ask you the same question over and over,
I said what I said.
Thank you.
And I meant it.
Thank you.
I said what I said.
I mean,
and
sometimes if we just sit back and we think about the response that we'll give to our kids, you think about the same response that God given to you.
Much deliverance.
Because if you tell your kid goes to football practice or starts a sport and say, oh, I don't want to go no more, I quit. What? I paid my money. Oh, you gonna go. Oh, you gonna do this. But God didn't say you that. God is not forcing you to do any of that. He's just letting you know that I've called you to do something, and I'm just asking you to do it. But you do have a choice. But you ain't give your kid a choice. You gonna do this. So, but what if God would told you, oh no, you gonna do this? But our God's so loving.
He cares
about us so much that
But
he doesn't even yell at us. He just gives you a polite.
yes, but when we ask for something in return, when we ask for what we want, he will direct us right back. Because when I used to say, well, God bless this and that, and I want this and that, I want to pray for my kids. He said, whenever I would pray for my kids, he would show me Gerald. Hey, I don't want to talk about Gerald. I want to pray for my kids. But Gerald's deliverance was key to my kids' deliverance because he is the head. Because if I broke a bloodline curse, then my kids would be benefiting from that.
Can I get a mic drop on that one? Can I get a mic drop on that one?
Hence the webinar I'm doing this coming Friday, September 18th. This Friday, September 18th, 2020. I'm telling you, God is dropping some revelation about how staying in a relationship that you don't want to stay in, breaking the back of curses, breaking generational curses is really about the next generation. Probably more about the next generation. Guess who's going to benefit from the bloodline breaker? Guess who benefits from a father who's no longer in pornography? For a father who's no longer dealing with perversion? For a father who's no longer dealing with addictions? Guess who benefits? Yes, I benefit. Yes, he benefits. But our children benefit.
Come on.
God is not always talking about what's going on now. He's thinking about what needs to happen for the future. We got to get past what we want. We got to get past what we want. I just wanted prosperity. I just wanted my marriage to be fixed. But God was like, he was so far. He was like, I just want the bloodline to be cleansed. I need my son to be saved. Not just for him to be saved so you can have a nice husband.
Come on.
So you can have you can have cute pictures. I'm talking about him releasing a sound in the earth.
Yes.
Him releasing prayers in the earth. Him interceding. Him changing the bloodline. Him shifting the things that have been happening in his bloodline for generations. We got to think generationally. We've got to think beyond what God is doing and saying. Come on. But quitting can't be an option.
Come on.
It cannot be an option. Share it, share it, share it. Let people know. Oh my goodness. You have someone on your timeline and in your friends on other areas of YouTube that are about to quit.
Come on.
And we got to tell the world, quitting is not an option. Three-quarters is not an option. Half is not an option. Don't stop.
No.
Don't stop. So we just wanted you to see.
Can't stop.
Yes, we wanted you to see what was behind us and wanted you to know we climbed it for you again. We climbed it on your behalf.
Y'all see those mountains in the far distance?
Oh, Jesus, isn't that awesome?
Those are mountains in the far distance.
Yes.
I mean, when we sit here and we look at what God has created and think about, he told us once we started this mountain, when you get to the mountain, wait till you see what I have for you. And we got up here, and the first time we looked around, and it seems like every time we get up here, we see something
better
different.
And better.
We see something that's just like,
and this
God had an eye at this.
Yes, this is Kennesaw Mountain. We want you to see it. This is what's behind us. We're in Georgia on the Kennesaw Mountain, and it is a beautiful mountain top. We come up here on some Sundays. We won't say it's every Sunday. We're just following an instruction God gave us, and we're telling people quitting is not an option. We're telling people don't stop before your breakthrough. We're telling people decree and declare over the mountain. There's so many things that God shows us once we get up here or while we're traveling through. And there are some things that God is trying to tell you in your journey. Ooh. Oh my God, there's some revelation for where you're going, for who you are, for your family, for your children. And the revelation is released in the journey, but did you stop in the middle of the journey and then you wonder why you didn't get the revelation? If I stopped 3/4 of the way, I wouldn't have got the revelation.
Y'all catch that. She teaching now.
Oh my God.
She teaching something.
3/4 of the way, revelation. I could have done a nice broadcast. Doesn't mean I couldn't have done a good broadcast, because I have gifts and callings. They're out without repentance. I can preach a word. Oh, I can preach a word. But the particular word God wanted was 3/4 just won't do.
Ooh, halfway won't do either.
Quitting is not
an option.
It's not an option. We're declaring that over you. You are not a quitter. So put up, I am not a quitter. I am not a quitter. Stop giving God these scenarios like, well, what about this? What about that? What about God? What about Jesus? What about his word? What about his promises? So you stop, you get healing. You stop, you get more revelation. You stop, you get healing and deliverance. You get salvation. You get whatever it is that you need so that you can hear God's voice. You get whatever it is that you need so you can get God's instructions. You get whatever it is that you need so God can start speaking to you, talking to you, healing you. Because once he starts healing you and delivering you, he's going to start instructing you. When he starts instructing you, demons don't have a place in your house. Demons don't have a place in your mind. Demons don't have a place in your bloodline.
You teaching, girl.
Not at all. So stop giving God these scenarios. Well, he's doing this and she's doing that, and I don't know how to do this. Okay, God does. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I know a God who does. You know a God who has the answers. It's in his word. But when we read his word and we need deliverance, when we read his word and we need healing, when we stop 3/4 of the way, when we don't even bother starting, when we listen to other people tell us, well, going up that far was really, really great.
Ooh.
And that's really, really awesome. So you can stop there. It's okay. God gives you the choice. God gives him the choice. I hear that so much. Well, God gives him the choice. He sure does. He gave you a choice too. Worry about the choice you're making before you worry about the choice somebody else is making. Stop. Stop doing it. Love God more than you love your spouse.
Come on.
Love God more than you love anything else.
No more quitting.
No quitting. I am not a quitter. I didn't see enough people declare it.
I am not a quitter.
And God's going to hear you. He's also going to give you some instructions. Once you make that decision, once you make that declaration, he's going to say, okay, now I want you to do this. And then your answer is, okay, God, give me the strength. Because, whoa, what you ask? Go up that mountain again? What? Go up that mountain again?
You're going to need all your strength.
I can stay home. Honey, I can, think about it. I can preach the same message in my den. Same message. With no sweat. I had to take my eyelashes off. Y'all had to take the eyelashes off. It was too hot. It was too hot. I was getting tired. All this was happening. I'm just transparent. The eyelashes over there.
Just throw them away.
I had to throw them away. It was looking a hot mess, and I was not going to represent that way. So I don't have them on. Lord, increase my strength, do something.
Come on.
Help me, Jesus. And you know, you got to do whatever you got to do. Take the eyelashes off, roll up your sleeves and tell the devil, oh no, I'm not quitting now. I might take these eyelashes off. I might look a mess. I might have a broadcast that's, you know, a little shaky because my arms is a little tired, but I'm not quitting.
Oh, God.
And my babe got to sit on the edge of a mountain, Jesus, and he used to not like heights, used to. And he's sitting on the edge of a mountain, but he's doing it for you. Who's counting on you to sit on the edge?
Yeah, I'm sitting on the edge.
Oh my God, babe, talk about the edge.
I'm sitting on the edge.
Oh,
and
Lord
when I tell you, talking about, and here's what the enemy said, you gonna go sit on that edge? I said, no. I said, yeah, I'm gonna sit on it. And I said, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna get comfortable with it. Wow. And he's trying to make me uncomfortable because I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing the stuff behind me, and I know where I'm sitting. And God says, I got you. You just do my work. And we sitting on the ground and we're showing you, listen, we just being transparent because this is what God has called for us to do. And so yes, the screen might be shaking because our arms are shaking, but I want you to know that we still
people are still decreeing, even though we're not on it. They see us. They know it's not. We don't care.
Come on.
Come on.
Enemy thought you had us. You're a joke.
So we wanted to speak to some people who won't quit. That's what we wanted to speak to today. We wanted to pray over people who won't quit. We want to declare over people who won't quit. We want to put wind in the back of people who aren't quitting. Right. If you're watching on replay, you're still not a quitter. If you're seeing us on YouTube, if you're seeing us on Facebook, let us know. Let other people know you cannot quit. You know some people who are about to quit. You know some people who already quit.
Come on.
Tell them it's not too late.
Come on.
Tell them God is still waiting. Tell them God's instructions are still good. Tell them God's word is still powerful. Tell them they have authority and power. And better yet, be an example of what not quitting represents. Be that example. If you are an example of someone not quitting, then maybe they'll get back up. Ooh. Just maybe they'll get back up.
They just need an example.
They need an example.
They're not seeing enough
They need
examples.
An epistle. They need an example. They need an epistle. They need someone to show what it looks like, what it sounds like,
they can bounce things off of, ask questions, how you did it.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? But they got to have somebody. They got to have somebody that's going to give them some hope and every now and then give them some help.
And let me tell you, God is a rewarder of what's happening with your relationship. When you see what's happening with your finances, when you see what's happening in your ministry, now you're going to be like, oh, well, I did this and I did that. You're not going to be worrying about what other people did or did not do.
Come on.
Trust me, God is not a respecter of persons, and he's also not slack. That's what I wanted. He's not slack according to his promises. He is not slack.
Amen.
You don't serve a slack God. You serve a God that's more than enough. You serve a God who has a mansion on 1,000 hills, who is the creator of things like mountaintop experiences. Come on. There's nothing you need to do besides continue. There's nothing you need to worry about besides what God told you. And then you ask him for strength. And then you ask him for deliverance. And then you ask him for more instructions. And then you tell him, I don't want to quit. I'm not quitting, so teach me. Tell me. I will study. I will write. I will focus. I'll read. I'll do whatever I got to do.
Come on.
Do whatever it is you have to do.
Do it.
So you are not. Yes, El Shaddai. He's more than enough. That multi-breasted one. So do not quit. Do not slack. God is not slack.
Slack God. You right. And don't slack God, because God is not a slacker.
There you go. Climb your mountain. Who's in the middle that all of a sudden now they know I'm not stopping anymore. I'm not stopping in the middle. I'm gonna keep on going. YouTube, no stopping in the middle. Keep going. Facebook, no stopping in the middle. Keep going. Keep going. Quitting is not an option. All right.
All right.
So we love you guys. Go to GeraldandYvette.com for resources for your marriage, resources for spiritual warfare training for the Help Meets. The Help Me Army is stomping on things. The Help Me Army is going to send some representatives up on this mountain to make some declarations on behalf of Help Meets everywhere. So we're going to get a couple of my Help Me Army recruits, Army members in my mentoring program. But let me tell you, we're coming up to the top of this mountain in October. A few of us going to hit the top of this mountain and make revelation, declaration, and prayers on behalf of Help Me's all over the world. We're going to make those declarations on top of this mountain. I can't wait. I can't wait. All right. You want to say something, baby?
Y'all blessed. Blessed.
We are sitting down on the ground. So I'm gonna get my baby up. We're heading down the mountain. We'll take a couple of pictures on the way down and post them. We love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you're sharing the message. Don't stop in the middle. Keep going. All right, Katie. That's right.
Can we
no
walk
stopping.
And talk?
You want to walk and talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all want to?
Come on, we're gonna walk and talk. I gotta get off. Yeah.
All right, baby.
I got you.
All right. Pull. Yikes. All right.
Okay, y'all see this drop off?
Look at it.
Yeah.
Yes. Go to GeraldandYvette.com to make sure you see all of this at all times. What is God doing? He's so amazing.
So worthy.
He's so wonderful. This is the mountaintop experience. You've had a mountaintop experience. Woo! I love it. All right. We appreciate you. We want to remind you.
Marriage works.
If you work it.
I love it. Hey, I love it.
Go back and watch the replay if you missed it, but you don't want to miss it because you don't want to quit.
Ooh, don't quit. Don't quit.